To use Image Trend for your connector case log, you'll navigate to the Image Trend icon that's located on your iPad home screen. Your username is connector, and the password right now is MesaFire2. What you'll do next is navigate to the connector activity log that's underneath the Community Health tab. From there, you'll enter in the information for the day. You'll select your unit. You'll click this clock button to date and timestamp, and you'll select your shift. From there, you'll enter your name and the other people that are on shift with you that day. Please enter your first and last name. From there, you'll see the three areas that the connector program supports the department with: our dispatch calls, operations support, and department errands. Dispatch calls includes our fires, 2-in-1 medicals, smoke alarms, motorist assist, wheelchair lift, medic retrieval, customer transport, PD assist, and other. Operations support includes SCBA bottles, turnouts transported, business verifications, after the fire door hangers, fire personnel transports, and food boxes delivered. And then department errands include special events supported, hydration, donation pickups, and other. This training is not meant to be a training on how to write up your narratives, but it is just a training on how to use the Image Trend. For various of these dispatch calls, you may need to use the customer service sector if you're providing customer service at a fire. You would go ahead and open this worksheet down here. If you're doing a smoke alarm or a motorist assist, a wheelchair lift, customer transport, you're going to need to use the liability waiver here. Let's just pretend that we've been dispatched to a fire and that we're going to provide assistance in the rehab sector. This notes tab here is just meant for you to kind of take notes so that when it comes time, when you have a minute, you can go ahead and complete the narrative section when you have a second. So if you want to say that you're going to be doing rehab at whatever address, you can just put rehab sector at ABC address. This is just for you to help remember when it comes time for you to do your narrative. Then you do it more formally. You'll put the number of times you're assigned to rehab on that shift. So this is just numeric keys here, and then you can close. You can save as you go throughout all this. So that I would highly recommend just kind of saving as you go, but it should just be a running log that you'll have available to you throughout your entire shift. Now, pretend that you have to go do a smoke alarm and you're going to have to do a liability waiver. This is something that's a scheduled smoke alarm install. You'll go ahead and put a number here, number 1. This is just your notes, so doesn't have to be, full sentences and everything like this. It's just notes for you. So you can put smoke alarm install at XYZ address. For the liability section, you'll go ahead and click in the liability waiver. You'll select select smoke detector. You're going to enter this little clock button, auto stamps the date. You're going to put your address. This drop-off address is applicable mostly for like motorized wheelchair transport, customer transport, that sort of thing. If you're dropping off a bike, you'll put the apartment or suite if there is one. You'll reference back that Mesa Fire incident number from CAD. And then in the narrative, you'll write out that more professional, like Connector Kelsey, connector Isaac went and did a smoke alarm at XYZ address, installed 2 smoke alarms, yada, yada, yada. You'll go ahead and have the customer enter their name. You'll use their full name. They can sign on the iPad. You'll timestamp it, and then you will do the same as well. Timestamp. And the other person who's on your crew. And timestamp. You'll click OK, and that's going to actually generate in this timeline here. Here's your liability waiver. You can reference back the time that was completed so that you can remember what it referenced, what was the first thing you did, that sort of thing. And that's for your notes and narratives, just to make it a little bit easier. You can't auto name these by person, by their address. So, there's a potential that throughout your shift, you might have a few liability waivers, you might have a few customer service sector worksheets. So this is just to make that easier. So let's pretend that you do that and then you get dispatched to a fire. You're going to do the customer service sector. So let's just say, okay, customer service sector at. So we're going to go ahead and open up this customer service sheet. We have all of these fields to fill out. We have all of these occupants to fill out. This is like if we have to get Red Cross involved. And then we'll pop down to these benchmarks so that you can clarify what it is that the customer is needing and go from there. So let's just pretend we did one. Click OK. And then here's the timeline here, 12:51. So you might want to put that in your notes. So again, so that you can reference where you were for that customer service worksheet and which one to open. Again, this is the potential because you might have a few things open at some point throughout your shift. So then up here, we would go ahead and select one. So you're going to do all of these kind of boxes like this are just for numerics of what you did. And then there's the narrative that's professional that you need to write, as you've been accustomed to writing your case logs. And then the note section is just for you to help you kind of remember so you know what to put in the narrative. You can clear it out at the end of your shift if you want to, or you can keep it. It doesn't matter. It's just for you guys. So I want to clarify one thing. So SCBA bottles, number of stations visited. I don't need to know that you took 8 bottles to station 2. I just need to know that you did an SCBA bottle run on shift that day. You can just go ahead and enter the number 1. If you care to put it in the narrative, that's great. Wonderful. You could put something like that. There's no need for a liability waiver on that, no need for a customer service sector. That's all it is. That's good. Once you've completed your shift, what you'll do is you'll go ahead and save. You'll make sure all of your narratives are right, make sure you have all your liability waivers, all of that stuff. You'll go ahead and throw this to ready for review. What that means is that the connector coordinators will go ahead and review this worksheet, this connector log, make sure everything's good to go. We'll ask you if we have any questions, and we'll just go from there. So you'll click ready for review, you'll save it, and you close it. From there, you should be able to find this case log. Here it is under Community Health Incident List. You could even search by connector because you can see that there's some stuff that Isaac and I have been doing here. So here's that case report that we just worked on. So that's in our queue. So we know to go ahead and check that. You can open it again if you care to. But once a connector coordinator has reviewed it, it's gone. We can't make any updates to it. So that being said, if your iPad ever wigs out or anything like that, you can go ahead and open it again from that list view.